Hello everybody, it's Vertical Sandwich. It's time to play the Blitzball Finals. Now, if you have the jet shot, you can't use it until the second half of the game. And you only get to play like the first 2 minutes of the second half of the game. So you're really going to have to make good use of it. Now, the advantage of the jet shot, I'm going to say, is it knocks away, I think, up to 3 defenders. So it essentially is just like a guaranteed, like, free shot at the goal. And you're going to notice I save a lot. I just wanted to get to a point where I made sure I had the last save file that was possible. So that in case I failed at this.
Sure you all right, Captain?
The game starts in a few minutes. You sure you okay?
We're playing the Gores, too.
Miss me?
Lady Yuna, are you okay?
All this because of me.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
And that's a little, the animation on that's a little weird. It looks like she just collapses.
How can you let some outbed kidnap you?
Hey, let it go, all right?
Don't go near outbed anymore, okay? They're trouble.
There you go. Albed, they're in trouble. They're bad. No Albed. Alright, so now they leave us in the hallway. We can't leave. So the game is mandatory at this point. Now, essentially, I'm gonna spend
Please, don't tell anyone about Yuna's lineage.
They don't bring it up, Lulu. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spend a lot of the time just talking about Blitzball. And kind of, you know, what's gonna... There's a win and there's a loss scenario. I don't know what happens if you tie. So, you know, you'll just have to leave that up to your imagination. Maybe, if I feel guilty about it, I'll put it in as a bonus or something.
No time for warm-ups. Ready?
Let me at him.
All right.
All right.
I got something to tell you boys. After this game, I'm retired.
Yeah, you retire every year, Waka.
I promised myself this would be my last tournament. Win or lose, I'm quitting Blitzball. But you know, since we're here, we might as well win.
All right.
Mind
Am I on the bench? He's so sad.
I'm warming the bench. He's taking my place.
All right, so we go in instead of Waka.
All right, boys, let's win this one. Let's make the goers gone.
Yeah.
Let's blitz.
All right, so what's going to happen is... Oh, well, this is important.
I saw you floating there on the sphere.
Hey, you weren't supposed to see that. Oh.
You really gave it your all, didn't you?
Okay, so... there's animation after the game. Some of it changes, some of it doesn't, depending on if you win or lose. We're going to deal with that probably next video.
Captain Walker.
Now, what's going to happen is everything that happens during the actual course of the game, that does not change. In fact, almost everything that happens,
This is it.
oh, this is kind of nice.
In just a few minutes, the championship game.
He writes on walls, apparently. Now,
A championship game between these
the game is stacked against you. It's completely. I mean, it's completely against your favor. Oh, yeah, I forgot Orin's here.
This looks like history in the making, Baba.
So, what ends up happening as far as the game goes is your stats, and you have multiple stats. You have an endurance stat, you have an attack stat, you have a pass stat, you have a shoot stat, and I believe you also, if you're the goalie, you have a catch stat, which is essentially the same as like your block stat. So, what's gonna all these characters, like there are at least 2 characters on the goers. The ones who get the ball have overwhelming attack stats. Where they will take the ball from you almost instantaneously every time. You really kind of have to mathematically luck out. The easiest way to win this game is to get a lead and then just try to kill as much time just passing back and forth as possible. That's not what we do, actually. I decided to play it all the way out. I didn't want to chicken out just to get a cinematic. And I was pretty confident that I could do what I needed to do. So, the game is automatic or manual depending on how you set options. You will see us set the option to manual. I believe it's, if you hit triangle, I believe that menu pops up. If that's not the case, that it's square and that menu pops up, the other menu allows you action commands. Okay, we've got that. Now, the way the game is essentially structured, somebody gets it at the blitz off, and then they're allowed to freely move around until a character gets like within their sphere of influence. And so there we go. We're going to set it to manual A and normal formation. Now you, like, here we're just going to pass. We're going to pass to our best stats player, which clearly is our hero. But you can move around freely. The only person you can control is the ball carrier. Until somebody, like, essentially hits them, and then it'll ask you, like, break or pass. And breaking is trying to get past their tackles. So there's a tackle, he took the ball. Now, if I had gotten past that, I would have had the option to pass. It would have bounced out the hand of the next person, and their stats would have come into play. The tutorial spells it out pretty well. The thing that's pretty lucky about this is that the stats for shooting are only good on like one Luka Goer player. So if you could keep that player from shooting, you're pretty decent. So it's essentially a battle to how many people you think can tackle you without depleting your endurance, and then pass past the rest of them. See, that person only has 3 attack, but the person after them has 8 for block, and our pass is only, or our shoot is only 10. Gets a hand on it, knocks it down to 0, he's got the ball. If he had knocked it down to 2, then the ball would have kept going, but the number would have went down as it traveled. So distance decreases the number as well. And there you go. I mean, like, some of the goers' stats are high enough that they can just break all the way through, like, 3 of your players and dribble. And then just keep running, you know, to take a shot. And we were reasonably lucky here. In general, what you want to do is you identify who your, who your players are that you think can actually make something happen, and just try to get them the ball. You know, try, like right away if you get a break, like, get them the ball, and you also can let your hero manually move forward because he's like the left forward. With somebody else, which I just did with Vada, just hold the ball and try to keep people away from him so that you could pass in and be close to the goal. So there we go. You didn't get a hand on it, so that's a shot of 10. And the catch stat isn't enough to catch it, and we take the lead. Now it seems to me like the goers actually fight a little aggressively when they're down. but that may not be the case. What you don't have to worry about, what's kind of nice about this, is the worst case scenario is not that the goers beat you 10-0. You know, the worst case scenario is that they beat you 4-0. You know, the game is just not set up to be like the world's highest scoring affair. Now, you can, when you get good at Blitzball, because playing Blitzball levels up your players, they can gain abilities. When you get good at Blitzball, you can beat teams like 7 and 8-0. Especially with things like the Jack Shot, which is just overpowered. It's super overpowered. I actually didn't know that coming into this game. Luckily, I didn't have to. But I probably could have scored 3 goals on them using it as often as I got the ball. Just go until I had to break, do the Jack Shot. Because those bounces that you see in the Jack Shot, those bounce off defenders and knock them out of the break. Now, the problem with that is you can't set, until you've played for 1/2, you can't set techniques on your players. So, the Jack Shot is, we have it as a technique, but until we can set it as a technique we're using, we can't use it in the game. And it's it's hit point restrictive. So, it costs a lot of hit points to use it. Waka, who's going to come into this game later, sorry for the spoiler, he actually has a far more affordable technique called Venom Shot. And what Venom Shot does is it doesn't necessarily, I don't know if it necessarily ups your shooting stat, but people who try to block your shots or goalies who try to catch it can be poisoned. And then that drops their hit points. And there are all kinds of techs for this game and kind of dynamics and status ailments and things like that that you can deal with. They're handy later. But I should say, playing this Blitzball game allows you a couple things. First off, it'll allow you to warp to the stadium to play Blitzball from any save point, which is reasonably important. I also should say, if you take a shot and the clock runs out, it doesn't even matter if it goes in. Like, once the clock runs out, the clock runs out. So, what I was going to say is, it also opens up that you can speak to people with Square and recruit Blitzball players. And we'll be going over some of that. I might actually just make a recruitment video to show you where kind of everybody is once we can access everybody.
Zone defense, boys. Stop those goers.
So we're tied right now.
What about me?
Get the ball and just shoot like crazy.
So there we go. Shoot like crazy.
Goers are going down.
Goers are going down. I love that.
Shoot like crazy.
Yeah, shoot like this. But yeah.
All right, hustle.
Goers are going down. Shoot like crazy. Go down. Shoot like crazy. All right. So now we can set techniques. And Sphere Shot is the default, but there's the Jack Shot. I don't know why I didn't see it, but I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to the next page. Sphere Shot is okay. You'll have it no matter what. Only players who are above level 3 can use it, and where you're the only player on the team that is above level 3, unless you do a ton of passing in the first half, you might be able to bump somebody else up to level 3. So, and setting mark means that you set a player, you set your players to cover specific people. And strategically, that actually might make a lot of sense in this game, since there are only really 2 or 3 players, like Vixen and stuff, that the goers really use. Like, their back half players really don't need to be covered. But now that we have it set, the Jack Shot will essentially be our, will be our defensive maneuver, or our overpowered, like when Blitzball games maneuver to get up to the item we need from playing Blitzball. We have no chance to break through Grav. I mean, we have a mathematical chance, but it's pretty low. So, like, yeah, Grav, Bixen, and then whoever the girl is that's on their front line, you could just set, like, double mark them and probably be in better shape for this game. Letty's a pretty good defender considering. And we got really lucky with that number. I mean, he only took one. They both only took one. Fantastic. So this will put us in almost prime position. Now, we only have like 160 hit points. So, and I break. Like, I thought I needed to break, and I didn't. You could just use the jet shot. Because it's going to do this. See, it just knocks him out. You could do that, I believe, with up to 3. And there we go. So that's our winning goal. But now what'll happen is when you get far enough into the game dynamic changes. Like, it's a little weird. And I want to see what time that happens at. Because it's not key event oriented. You will notice that the clock stops when you're in breaks as well. And that does lengthen the game a little bit. Eventually you kind of get so good at the game you can really just make these choices without thinking about them too much. But we want them to do things like pass, because the clock keeps running as the pass is flying. I mean, you really can, by passing, you can eat up a lot of time. And again, that would be my suggestion. If you want to win this, you do get something for winning. It's not a huge deal. So she shoots. She has a crappy shoot stat. It was just ridiculous for her to shoot. It's 3 minutes, I think, is when this is going to happen. Because there's 2 minutes left when you come back from what's going to happen. So. So there you go. It doesn't even let us pass.
The fans are getting impatient. They're calling for some action.
So action my butt. It's 2-1. We're winning. This would be like the greatest hockey game ever. That woman is wearing all clothes that are the same color as her skin. It's a little off-putting. Like it just makes her model look weird to me.
Everyone seems to be calling for Waka, folks.
So there you go. And apparently we can just stop the game. Like that's just allowed to just be like, well, we're moving a player out, which seems.
Say, where is that player going? He's leaving the sphere pool. He may be injured.
Maybe. He may also just be lazy. So, there you go.
To be honest, I did kind of feel left out. But it really was the Oryx and Waka show after all.
So, when Waka comes in for this game, he will have Venom Shot equipped. You don't have to worry about that. It's usable. But there's nothing you can do about this. You can't keep your hero in. Yeah, Waka's got to come back in and play his last game.
Ah, it's Waka. He's back on the field and ready to go. The Aurochs seem glad to have him back.
All right. So I actually stopped this right here, thinking it would be a long time. It's not. We've got like 4 minutes left. Essentially this is it. We're just gonna kind of fight. At the best the goers can do right now is essentially tie. Because getting a goal in 2 minutes is pretty hard. Unless you're so overwhelming the other team that it's, you know, that there's no, and we will eventually. I will get my blitzball players' techniques and levels and stuff up to the point where it's overwhelming playing random teams, and we're gonna have to deal with that. I mean, at some point, what will happen is I will just show you kind of the way the structure of like blitzball season and stuff goes. And we'll deal with that. I probably won't show actual games. So here's Waka's Venom Shot. We don't get a chance to kind of see it, but the ball will glow green. And again, anybody who touches it has a chance of being poisoned. It doesn't always happen. It's not a. Although there are different levels. There's like Venom Shot 2. I think there might even be a Venom Shot 3. And those will obviously change, like the odds of whether or not the venom, you know, works. Although, in my experience, there are other, like I think there's a paralyzed shot, and that's a way better one. Because it disables a player for a while, whereas Venom Shot just increases the depletion of their hit points and keeps them from using techs. I was really trying to get the Venom Shot off here, too. But really, I mean, like, we have, you know, 35 seconds left to go. And the longer the goers kind of, you know, run around, the better. And this essentially sealed their fate. I mean, this is such a long pass that, you know, like, there's the game. So, we'll see what the guy has to say about the crowd. And when we come back, I will probably have a little bit of post mixed in to show you what happens if you lose. And we got a strength sphere. You don't get that if you lose.
Unbelievable! The Aurochs win, folks! This is one for the record books!
So, bye, everybody.